What's going on, everybody? It's Jonathan,
And Wayne, MakeItWain.
and we are here at CanJam, and we cannot figure out how to make this camera stop going from one to the other
I don't know.
face.
I don't know how
So,
my do my hands.
yeah, it's bad. But anyway, we are going to first talk about what we wanted to hear when we first came here, and then we'll talk about briefly what we thought were the show highlights.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what did you want to hear when you first came to CanJam?
Number one was a Forte Ears Macbeth. It was one of the most gorgeous looking shells. The promotion for that has been massive. So, like, I saw that first thing on the Headphone video
Right.
and had to jump all over that. I think that was like one of the first ones I listened to as well. Also wanted to go to Music Tech and listen to every single thing they had there. Also, really wanted to go to Fat Freak and check out their Grand Maestro Anniversary Edition, see if the Deuce was there. Which, yeah, it was worth the pre-order hassle that's been going on.
Because recently you went to a meetup with Sebastian,
Yep.
and you heard the RN6, and that kind of got you juiced to hearing like the high level, top level
Yeah,
IM.
yeah, like that. You know, I've always been into like the Chi-Fi, the Linsols of the world, the Hi-Fi Goes, and
Right.
really trying out the Fear Audio RN6 has been like just changed everything completely.
Which is cool because CanJam is a great place to try out as many IMs as you want to, and they've got IMs that range from $50 to what was it, the Fugaku, which is
$17,000.
crazy. So I had a shorter list because when I realized how many vendors were going to be here, which were over 100, it was like
Yeah.
crazy. And when I realized how many vendors were going to be here, I realized that if I don't make a smaller list, then I'm going to get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy to get overwhelmed. So I had the Visioneers EXT version 2, mainly because I didn't realize that it has a large dynamic driver for the bass, but it has another dynamic driver for the mids. So I was kind of curious about that.
Yeah, you don't usually see that combination. It's usually
No.
like BAs or planars or something like that. It immediately goes up to that.
And what I've been noticing with products like the Triton, it's like, holy shit, that's, I'm about to bleep that out. Try it again. I'll edit it. What I realized with products like the Triton is that you can have these weird mixes.
Yeah.
And it sounds wonderful,
Yeah.
right? So then the other one was the Alpha Omega Omega.
Yeah.
There has been a lot of hype about that one, so I wanted to try that out. Another one is the Jomo Audio Nautilus. I would love to give away right now what those two both sounded like, but we will later.
Yeah.
The AME Musa,
Musa. Yes.
it was interesting. The Ferrum Stack, mainly because I still need a proper amp for my Empyrean 2s. The Awful Cantor, which is great because shout out to JTIS, they didn't
Yes.
have it here.
Yeah, they were not here today, but my man Jatus, he was able to come by, swing by, get a chance to listen to them.
Yep. The Theaudio Origin.
He also had the Origin.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah, he had the Origin. I got to listen from Jatus's version.
Dang it, they had the gentleman we talked to, they had it over there.
Yeah?
They had it in
Okay.
2 spots. I think they had it there, and I think headphones.com had it.
Okay.
The Burson Audio Conductor GT4, which is another amp
Yep.
that I wanted to hear with the Empyrean
Well,
2s.
Burson's a very well-known name for the
Yeah.
audiophile community.
Oh, yeah. The Rossian Wing First Flight, which is, I guess it's a launch edition, and it's a $7,400 IM for the launch edition, and then $5,000 for the regular edition.
Yeah.
The Canera Imperial Loki.
Yeah.
I heard it at CanJam, New York. Thought it was pretty dope. But the Apostle.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Elysian was definitely on my list from the very get-go.
Yeah.
The Apostle, once that broke over where everybody was talking about it, it's special.
Yeah, the Apostle. That was on my list. So what was the reality of day one? How many IMs do you think you listened to on day one?
I think I probably listened to like 15 to 20, and I don't think I got the like ability to like fully, go the 15, 30 minutes. I didn't want to like fatigue myself, and I also didn't want to like hog it because there's so many people here.
Yeah.
Like on Saturday, like there's just, you want to be conscious of everybody else that wants to have the opportunity to listen to it. That's what everybody's here for.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to hog it. So yeah, I think I listened to about 15 to 20.
Yeah, generally to be nice, I like listen to one song and 2 max, especially if it's a really good IM. I don't want to stress anyone else out because I feel like other people too are sitting there going, oh God, am I going to be able to listen to everything? And you just kind of don't want to add to that.
Yeah,
that vibe.
even on freaking Sunday, somebody was saying like, "Oh, I was waiting forever to hear the storm," for example, and they didn't get to it until what was it like, 4:50?
Oh, was that me?
So, might have been you.
I'll be honest with you. I always pick one that I'm going to listen to last. Pro tip, if there's something you really want to listen to and it's been really, really super busy the whole weekend, wait till the last hour of CanJam.
Yeah,
It usually thins out, people are gone, and the second day is, you notice, a lot lighter than the first day.
yeah,
The first
100%.
day-
And actually, the last hour is when they start doing some giveaways, so everybody will crowd over there waiting for that, and then you can just sneak over and listen to the one thing you've been waiting for.
Exactly. So now we're going to talk about what we heard, our impressions, and just how amazing CanJam was.
Can I lead with how amazing CanJam was?
It's just one of those things that you have to experience to understand. But what's amazing is all the wonderful people that you get to meet. Have a good one. It was nice meeting you.
Great. I'll pass my regards to Razvan, right?
Yes.
It was
Alex. Yeah, Alex.
Alex, tall guy with a beard.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is an example.
Thank you.
This is an example.
So that's completely an example. That was Antonio Meze, founder of Meze. And you know, I'm a big fanboy, so it was really cool to actually see the booth. And I usually see Alex, who does the tuning for the headphones, but to actually see the man himself, that's one of the magic things about CanJam.
Yeah, you could walk anywhere, meet somebody. Mascoba walks back and forth all the time, just super approachable.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, headphones.com, DMS, Zeus, everybody.
Freaking Josh Valor.
Yeah,
Everybody was nice. So you are able to gain a different perspective because you're actually able to talk to the people that created the product that you love.
and this is such a passionate hobby. Everybody's like open and ready to talk and just have fun and just it's part of the experience.
For example, so we're going to be talking about the Forte ears at Macbeth, right? And the founder, tuner, the man of the company was there. And he explained to me how he tunes his IEMs, which is always fascinating. But I was like kind of blown away because he's a huge opera fan. And that's just his number one jam. And he realized that in tuning an IEM with opera, that's probably the most raw, crazy presentation you have to tune right, because you've got male, female voices, all ranges. Then you've got instruments that take up all range, different sounds, different timbres, and all those different things. And if you can nail all of that, it takes very much little fine tuning to get everything right.
Yeah, and then putting in a beautiful, gorgeous shell too.
Oh, jeez. And the way it sounded, what did you think?
I thought it was great. Well, okay, so let me put it this way. There was one of the first IEMs I heard, and it kind of almost like ruined me to everything else I heard. Just because it was like setting the bar high. But I mean, last year at Socal CanJam 2023? Yeah, 2023.
Yep.
Yeah. The Meze Empyrean was actually the first one I listened to. I sat down, listened to that first, and just really kind of just scoped out exactly how the rest of my day was going to go.
And it's crazy. That's another thing that you have to kind of keep in mind, that so CanJam 2024 SoCal had the most vendors they've ever had. It's the biggest one they ever had. It was over 100 vendors. So you also have to pace yourself as well, and it's okay to take a break. In fact, you'll realize that if you go and start rushing things, you're not going to be able to hear any differences. You've got to let yourself rest, you got to chill, and you will have enough time. Because I don't think there's anyone out there, except myself and you, because we like reviewing these things, that have to listen to everything.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, my list was like 120 that I wrote down, and I did not get through all of that, but, way too ambitious.
But I feel like, would you say that you got to hear the best stuff?
Yes, absolutely, by far.
Yeah, so definitely the Macbeth. The Macbeth it's on a different level because the tuning is just so good. Like, everything in the music comes out, it's there. There's no imbalances or anything like that. But what it does is play the music. Congrats on Clara.
Thank you.
And tell Clara hi.
I will.
Thank you. See, this is
An example.
a great event. Let's bring that one up. So, God, I forgot. Campfire Audio
Campfire Audio.
has a new IM that I don't know if it launched here, but I know it's going to be launching in November.
Yeah.
and it's called the Clara. And I was hanging out with the water coolers yesterday evening, and they just kept going, Clara, Clara, Clara. You got to hear the. Have you heard the Clara? And it's one of those rare IMs like the Macbeth where no one said it was bad. Everybody was saying it's great.
Yeah.
So I went and listened to it today, and it's really beautiful because he named it after his daughter, which I think is very sweet. But
Very
it
sweet.
also, it kind of tells you, like, you're not going to name something crappy after your daughter. It's got to be good, right?
You don't want that stigma there.
Right, and it's a great IM too. So look out for the Campfire Clara. It's just, it kind of reminds me of a Raven in a sense where it's just the way it presents. It's kind of like W, I feel, like a W shape.
Yeah.
But the way it presents it, it just kind of, the emotion comes out.
Yeah.
Like it's just great with guitars. It's great with vocals. I can't remember what the makeup of it is, but I believe it has 2 DDs in it, and then 4 balance armatures.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
If we're wrong, then sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, we've. There've been.
It's end day on Sunday, so
Speaking of exotics, like we've got the Visioneers EXT Mark II, which uses, I believe, a larger DD for the bass, a mid DD, a mid or DD for the mids, and then I think 4 EXTs
Yeah.
for the treble. But again, another nice, warm, voices sounded great. It was a great IM. I think there was improvement from the first version to the second version. That's what a lot of people said. And it's another good one. And it's one of those ones that's going to have a special edition. I think it's 4,000. And then there's a regular edition, which I think is
3.
3,200.
Yeah.
Oh, the Clara is going to be 2,000 with the stock body. And then there's going to be a metal body, I think, for 3. So I'll just throw that in. What else did you hear?
Gosh, heard the PMG Apex or APX SE. Am I going to? Should I scale it back?
Bangers, bro.
Dude, seriously.
So, you talk about that one.
That is as close to like the feeling or hearing a subwoofer in my ear I've ever heard. Like you hear like so many units with really good bass. They're very boomy, but they're controlled. That's another level. Like it felt like I was listening to a home theater system in my ear.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, Empire team. It is. I'm going to talk about my frustration first with it. Of course, you're going to want people to want your product, and it is a phenomenal product. It is one of the best IMs I've ever heard, but they only made 100 of them.
Yeah.
So, and they sold out like within a week or 2.
Yeah.
Like once.
Word of mouth, everything, all
Water
the history
cooler.
behind it.
Oh yeah, Headphone's water cooler thread, when they caught on, it is absolutely spectacular. I don't know if they're going to ever make any more, but if you are able to hear it, it is one spectacular listen. It'll blow your mind because it's just like, it reminds me again of W shape with the Raven where everything's kind of pronounced on it, but it's the clarity.
Clarity, yeah.
Clarity, and then that bass comes in and it's out of body. But it doesn't overpower. Like everything else is just rah! It's almost, I always call the Raven the Polyphia of IEMs. That one would be what band?
Yeah, that's your baseline.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's wild. So the Apex was very good. What else do you have?
Let me go back to my list.
It's been so many that we just...
The Camper. I finally got a chance to listen to the Camper. The
Awful. Oh, that's a Cantor.
Cantor.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Which one's a Camper?
Camper is the naming convention is like 6.5.
Which one did you listen to? 622B?
Yeah, 622B. Yeah. I get the hype. It's been hyped up so much. People are saying it's one of the best IEMs out there, and I believe in the hype. It's very good. Did everything really well.
Some of the best BA bass you'll hear.
Yeah.
Holographic sound stage with the Sonians.
Yeah, I think I think also what I really liked was the mids. Like the vocals were still very lush, very full sounding. Because sometimes when you get to like those high end sets, like there is a little bit of a leanness, but this was like one of the fullest sounding mids I've heard.
You know why? That bone conducting is just for the mids.
Yeah.
So you get feeling, you get emotion in those mids. And I remember reading, I think Twister 6, one of my favorite reviewers, he and I have like the same year. I love looking at his music list because it's always when you find a reviewer, it's always good to see what they listen to, because if it's like what you listen to, then more than likely y'all like
Yeah.
the same things. If you're into classical and your favorite reviewer is into bass and drum or
Hip
hip
hop,
hop, it
EDM.
might not be a good marriage.
Yeah.
Right? But what I figured out today with the Camper 622B, and that is just naming that it has 6 balanced armatures. Wait, how did they do? No, yeah, 6 out balanced armatures, 2 E-stats,
Yep.
and then the bone conducting. Is its counterpart the 74E, which is what, 7 balanced armatures and 4 E-stats.
Yes.
And they complement each other. So with the 622B, I don't know even which one I like better, because I like 622B because it gives you that wide sound stage. It's more lively. It pushes you. It hypes you up. But the 74E is more neutral.
Yeah.
And it just, when it comes to stuff that's, well, vocals, it's phenomenal on. But it's a more intimate sound stage. So they actually complement each other really well, because if you want something that's like a close, intimate club, then you go for the 74E.
Yeah, it just really depends on your library. And
Yeah.
what's great is when a company will do that, where they have their main star and they have a different tuning, provides a different type of sound and different way to enjoy your music. And that might work better for your library, while the other one would be better for my library.
Yep, 74E, that intimate sound stage, 622B for that wide,
Yeah.
like concert hall
Yeah.
type. What else you got?
Oh gosh, had the Novus, the Astral and Kern Novus Empire Ears. Got to name drop it. So, this man loves Empire Ears.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
just a little bit.
I only own like 3.
All right, okay, all right, that's a good list. I enjoyed the Novus, but it is one of those. It is a very balanced, very clean, does everything really well, but you think it's a little bit boring, right?
I feel like the Raven is the raw, brings the
Yeah.
emotion out. It's just really, really good at that. I feel like the Odin is your balanced one. And I feel like this kind of fits somewhere in the middle of that,
Yeah.
trying to kind of blend them together. But sometimes, I don't know, for me, I would rather just have that either raw in your face, or I want to have that balance where I'm listening to classical, jazz, something like that. And I kind of don't want that midpoint.
Yeah,
So it's a great IM. Clarity, amazing.
very, very clean.
Bass, amazing. But for me, for my kind of tuning I like, it's not for me.
Yeah, which
But it's a great IM.
Which
It's a
is
great looking one. Yeah.
also why I tried the Triton out along with that, which
We both love.
I love the Triton. Phenomenal. I think it's one of the, I mean, with IEMs, one of the best things about it, the Triton specifically, is when a track calls for bass, brings the boom. When I put on some hip hop or anything like that, or anything that has a lot of bass, it's perfect. And then when I put on an acoustic, like, I don't feel like I'm getting bass somewhere that just came out of nowhere. I still can hear the mids, I can hear the vocals, they're pristine, they're super clean, but they're lively without like being overly bearing on the upper mids or anything like that. There's no treble sibilance or anything. It's just,
Separation.
yeah, everything's
Beautifully
just
separated.
beautiful. And the gorgeous shell.
I've got the prettiest shells ever. No, I love it. Yeah, the Triton special. Like it's just one of those fun tunings that you can just enjoy a lot of music to. Like you said, if you want the bass, you get the bass. If you want to listen to something like Go Go Penguin and just have instrumental music,
Yeah.
it will do that, and it will do it in a lovely way where the bass isn't just boom, boom, boom there, but it enhances it. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to segue to speaking about bass. What do you think? Did you listen to the Duality?
Yeah. Duality special, man.
Yes.
Duality's stupid, man. Duality is just. Duality has 3 levels. It reminded me a lot of the trifecta, where I call it the 0F. I give 0F IM because, excuse me, what the trifecta does, it does brilliantly. But it gives 0S if you like it or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Doesn't care.
And the Duality is the same way, where you've got this nice warm bass, but the bass is there. Even in the lowest setting, its foundation is the bass. But the bass is such quality bass that you don't really mind it that much.
Yeah.
But then you flip that switch, and what did you think?
I think I'm still like recovering from the head shaking from it.
So they should have called it bipolar. No, they really. Duality is a great name. It just enhances the bass, but it does it in a way where you still have everything else
Yes.
with you. And it's that warm, organic sound that if you're like me, that I'm the old guy here. So I grew up, 70s and 80s, and my parents had a beautiful home stereo system with the big speakers and the tube amp. And I'm used to that warm, organic sound. And like whenever I hear something like the duality or the trifecta,
Yep.
it brings me back to my childhood. And I think that's where it's great. If you are someone who's younger and you're a bass head, same thing, because you're going to get this quality bass. But it goes to another level. So for most people, I feel like that switch is fine.
Yes.
But when you freaking put in the adapter, it goes to Mach 1 million and you're just doom. But the frightening thing is what? You can still hear everything.
Yeah. It's crazy how they did it. I mean, they went up to 11 and they stayed at 11 the entire time.
Now, I haven't heard every bass head I am, but I feel like that's the bass head.
Yeah.
The bassiest of the bass head IEMs. And it's done in a way where it's not
Tasteful.
obliterating. Yeah.
Absolutely tasteful, warm. It's like a warm blanket that you're just putting on through. Like it's getting to this. Hopefully, it's getting to the colder months, and
Yeah.
that's like a
That's your perfect warm blanket.
Yeah.
Yep. It grabs you in, it hugs you, it snuggles you, it makes love to you. It's like a great IEM. I love the duality.
What'd you think of the Fugaku?
One of the water coolers made a really great point last night. So, what was it? A year ago, Unique Melody came out with the Amber Pearl
Yep.
and the NL30 DAP, right? And he owns it. And he also listened to that one. And how do you say it? The Fugaku?
Fugaku.
Fugaku. I listened to it, but I also listened to the Amber Pearl last night. And he felt that it's maybe a little bit better, but I don't know. What do you feel about it?
So, I thought it was very good. I thought more of the price point was really about the experience of, hey, look at this thing that I have. Look at how big it is, how the I think it's the player is, or the DAP.
Right.
Pulling that out, showing everybody. It's more of like a presentation piece, like a really fine Rolex or something like that.
Right.
It still does the audio perfectly fine. It was very clean. It felt very lively. I don't know if it was one of the best things I heard, but at the same time, I understand the appeal because it's for the collectors, the people that can afford that.
Right.
And
I think it has a specific sound signature because another guy who bought it said it reminded him of walking around with the 1266 TC.
yeah, the Diana
Yeah. So
or the Abyss.
the
Sorry,
Abyss, yeah,
my
the
bad.
Abyss.
My bad.
So like when you think of that, like if you're one of those guys that has that Munster system, but you want to take that Munster sound on the go with you, it's probably the perfect product.
Yeah,
And I think they nailed that part.
I think so too.
So maybe when we become astute, bigger, reviewers, and we're able to afford the 1266 TC.
Yes, quite.
Oh, hold on, my tea. Then we will understand why everybody loves that
Yeah,
product.
absolutely, absolutely.
What else you got? Okay, so we have this funny thing where there is a lot of hype on the disco and the water cooler threads.
Yeah.
And we talked before we got here because there were about 3 IMs that are just like so super hype, and you just sometimes kind of wonder if it's for real,
Yeah.
if it's marketing.
There's a lot of hyperbole. There's a lot of flowery language.
Like some of these guys, and I won't name names, really should write books because
Very good writing.
very good writing. But what's the one that you heard that has been hyped up that you were just completely blown away?
I mean, there's the shock, the Tansio Mirai shock.
So that's a big hyped one, the shock.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot. There's some people that have been talking about it.
Yeah, it's adjustable. You can make the bass and the treble the way you want to.
Like, the amount of squigs that somebody has recorded or a graft
It's
is
insane.
ridiculous.
Well, what
It's
did you think?
Phenomenal.
I'll beep that out. But yeah, it's that good. Like, you
get-
listened to it first.
I did.
And I kept looking at his face, and he's just like, he didn't want to smile. He was like, no, it's just can't be.
It was like it wasn't hate listening.
Right.
It was angry. Like, dang it,
It's good.
it's good.
It was, it's got that pin-on type mids.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're doing, the magic sauce, because my Fan 3 video, and he's going to have a Fan 3 video coming soon, but the Fan 3 is a remarkable little IM, and it has these glorious mids, and if you hear people talk about the pin-on IMs,
That's one thing.
that's the one thing that they talk about. The bass might be the treble might be a little bit not sparkly, not airy, not maybe
Safe.
safe, but honestly, the shock, you can tune that bass, you can tune that treble the way you want to, and the way he had it tuned, I didn't mess with it.
Yeah. I mean, he dialed it in, so we don't want to mess with that
Right.
too.
But it was great. It was
Yeah.
it's a great IM. I'm really digging being able to choose your sound,
Yeah.
as long as you don't go too far.
Correct.
But I feel like these IMs that you can tailor your sound to. Well, let's talk about before we get to the other one. Let's talk about another one, the Alpha Omega Omega.
Yeah.
So that's another one that people have been talking about, but I don't think a lot of people have heard. I know Leonard.
Yes, Leonard RFD, I believe.
Yep.
If I butchered it, I apologize, man.
And he's one of the good guys. Like
His photography skills is ridiculous.
yeah, he's a straight shooter, and so if he says something is good, then that makes me curious.
Yeah.
And we got to hear it, and not only is it one of the most beautiful IMs,
100%.
straight up, it is beautiful. It's got these flakes inside. It's a gorgeous IM. Not only is it beautiful, but there are 3 tuning switches, and you can boost bass, you can boost mids, you can boost treble. And Andrew at Music Tech, of course, Music Tech. Let's talk about Music Tech. Music Tech, when they come to a show, they bring it. Like, it's so overwhelming how many IMs they have.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It felt like Candyland, honestly.
And literally, I feel like 80% of the stuff I want to hear
It's right there.
is at Music Tech. And Andrew, Leo, the rest of the team, working tirelessly, taking quick lunch breaks, but just there to answer questions and help you all you want. So shout out to Music Tech for
Yeah.
having another
Shout out,
day.
guys.
But yeah, the Alpha Omega is a real deal. When I first got it, I think the bass was up, but the mids were down and the treble was down. So what I did just to mess with it was to put the bass down and the treble down and the mids up.
It's up.
And it brought the mids out so that they do work.
Yeah.
And it was just glorious mids. Then I boosted the bass. And then I boosted the treble because I wanted to kind of see if I could get it to W. Sound signature I like. That thing's amazing.
Yeah. So what's interesting is the first time I listened to it was the end of the Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already in that fatigue mode, which goes back to the part where you need to take breaks because at a certain point, like your head's like, this is the same thing. You're not listening to anything different. So my first time listening to it, I was like, it sounds like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds okay. Sounds good. Okay, yeah, I get it. The second day, I listened to it again and I got it. Like the ability to tune it, how clean everything is, how beautifully like full everything sounds. Like there's a good like soul to the music when you listen to it.
And is it 2200, 2300, something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's not a cheap IM, but it could, I always talk about things like this could be your end game. But I think what makes a better end game IM nowadays, with a lot of companies doing it, is being able to adjust your sound.
Yeah.
And this is, to me, like a perfect end game IM because depending on what you want to have, you got it. If you want something neutral for the night, you got neutral.
Dialiness, very, very. It's a nice feature.
Yeah. You want to have bass? Get the bass. Like it's a really good IM. So that was another one. But you know what? There was an arrival to the show that we were hoping that our buddy Mark would bring.
Yes.
Because
shout
he's
out.
been talking. Yes, Mark, thank you. So we had no arrival of a
Rebel.
So that's another one that's been kind of pumped up and supposed to be the greatest thing since Shakespeare. Macbeth. Anyway,
Shout out.
but we were able to procure a rival. And do you believe the hype is real on that one?
I'm so angry that hat. It's so good.
It's that good. It's like, so to give you the preface, what we did, we've heard the Forte, you've heard the RN6.
Yes.
I've heard the Xenon 6. I have the Raven. I have the Odin. We heard Macbeth,
Macbeth. Yeah, Triton.
Triton, Storm. So we pretty much this weekend were able to compare. Oh, the Bird, the Trailey.
Bird.
I listened to Amber Pearl last night, so it's not like we just did not hear anything that rivals the rival.
Yes.
Like all of its rivals, we listened to this weekend and we're able to compare it. And Pin-On, great job.
Phenomenal. Just phenomenal.
Yeah,
Believer.
it's just like you've got those great mids, you've got this huge soundscape, you've got detail, and then the craziest thing is you've got one knob where you can adjust the bass. So you can go from neutral, sub-neutral, bassy, bass head.
Yes.
And then on top of that, you have these little filters that you can put in.
The little modules that he put in. So
Right.
he went through the entire process of doing that.
Right, and we of course listen to what Mark had his set up as, but even set up that way, and because he already owns the Macbeth, he's owned some of the knockout IEMs. His tuning of that IEM was just superb.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He mentioned he actually bumped up the treble to the top.
Mm-hmm.
No harshness, no sibilance, nothing bad at all.
Yep.
It was just clean, airy,
Mm-hmm.
just everything was superb.
And like we said, it's really cool now that you're getting these IEMs, but depending on the mood that you're in, you can change them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was remarkable. So, good job, Pin-On.
Yes.
The rival is the real deal. What was the other one? Elysian.
Oh, Elysian.
This was the first time you heard the Annihilator, correct?
Actually, I did demo it previously before, and I've been dragging my feet on doing my review for him. But what I will say is, before a lot of the other meetups and everything like that, before listening to the Fear Audio RN6, which is still one of my favorites I've ever heard in my life,
Mm-hmm.
the Annihilator was the best I have ever heard in my life.
Okay. I like the Annihilator. My biggest thing, though, being a former musician, is I've always felt like it's got good bass, but it's got pillowy bass.
Yeah.
It's a sub bass. If you're not focusing on it, then it's really cool.
Yeah.
But it's the treble.
Yes.
It's just like this crazy, amazing treble that never gets too harsh, but it's extended, it's beautiful, it's airy. It makes detail.
Another level.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you were to compare it to the Diva, which I did in that in like my brief time,
Mm-hmm.
the Diva had, the thunderous bigger bass than the Annihilator.
Yep.
But the Annihilator, everything else was just superb.
Right. So that's always kind of like been my knock with that one, where I do like it. I think it's an amazing IEM, but it probably didn't fit me right because I didn't necessarily. It's a great tuned IEM. I feel like sometimes the mids, I like a lot of vocals, and I think the female vocals are a little thin on it.
Yeah. Like this.
So it's almost like someone was living in my room or my head, because what did we find out about? There's
The Apostle.
the new baby Annihilator, or that's what they're calling it, the Apostle. And what did you think?
Phenomenal.
Bro, so it reminds me of the bass on it. I don't know, there's a different philosophy. It started with the Pilgrim, because I think the Pilgrim has excellent bass. There's something about the bass in it that you can actually kind of feel.
Yeah, it's very detailed.
Very detailed. And then the Noir.
Yes.
And that bass is that's a great IEM.
Yeah.
I love the Noir. Because the bass is great. It's just a laid back, you can listen to all day. And I think they took that and they put that in
The Apostle.
the Apostle. Like the Apostle's bass is great.
Yes.
The mids are good. The treble is awesome. Like it's like the fine tuning of maybe what they've heard, the feedback.
Yeah.
Because of course there are a lot of Annihilator. If you look at the water cooler thread, for like 2 or 3 polls, Annihilator was number 1.
Yep.
And if you're a
good
treble
reason.
head, yeah, if you're a rock treble head kind of guy, it's the perfect. It does rock better than any band does rock. But I feel like they dialed it back a little bit, or they changed the tuning in a sense where they were so close to perfection for me, for my taste, that this is going to bring more people into the fold.
Yeah. Well, and then there's no final price yet, but the
Oh,
rumor
wait
is
till
$1,800, which is not chump change. It can still be very pricey for a lot of people. But if you want to get into like the Annihilator's, what, 3,200?
Yep. Well, it's if I remember correctly, it's $28.99 for either the gold or the silver, and then it's $31.99 for the platinum.
Yeah. So in the audiophile world, we're always searching for that last 5%.
Mm-hmm.
That Apostle gets you to the Annihilator as close as possible at that 95%. I feel like it's right there.
I can't agree with you on that only because the tuning's different.
That's true. That is very true. I think the bass is better on the Apostle.
I swear, if they made an Annihilator with that bass,
Done? Make it rain?
yeah, because that treble is so great, and if the bass matched the treble, then I think that would bring the mids into line and give them
Yeah.
more heft, maybe more note weight, because it's crystal clear, it's beautiful. But sometimes I feel like a lot of instruments and a lot of voices don't have enough weight with it. But I feel like if you just brought that bass in line,
Yeah.
honey, but the Apostle is great.
Great. Phenomenal for the price.
It's great. It'll be interesting if there's a retune, if there's like a Annihilator 2024 or 2025. Since there was a 21, 23,
25?
yeah.
This is about the time.
And then there's also the rumored one above.
Oh.
Yep. But we're thinking next year, maybe.
Yeah, maybe next year.
So it's going to be interesting. But Apostle, superb.
Awful superb, yeah. We got a chance to listen to the Awful Cantor.
Yes.
Long Nozzle, Starry Night from J-Tis.
Why'd you have to bring that up, though, bruh? The nozzle's fine. The nozzle's covered up by the tip. All those people that were making all that crap up, just go do something else.
So when I first saw it, I was
Yeah.
like, that is a bit long. I wonder how it's going to work.
You're talking about the IM, right?
Yeah, the IM.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just scared me a little bit, but we're talking about the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I felt like it was a bit daunting looking at it, right? You're like, oh, how far is that going to go into my ear? Is this like, am I about to like have surgery in my ear or
Oh
something
my
like
God,
that?
did you want it to take you to dinner? Maybe a
I
movie?
don't know, maybe. I don't know. But all my fears were completely absolved once I put like some tips on there and put it in, and it was comfortable.
If you want a neutral set
Yeah.
that's comfortable, it might be daunting. You might be scared, but you get that thing in there and you just turn your music on. That's the best IM under $1,000
Yeah.
for that neutral.
Neutral. You can turn up the
Balance.
volume. Scales really well with that.
Mhm.
Like I have the Explorer. That's like one of my favorite like sub 150 like IEMs in my opinion. Just because it brings that special like, hey, you could listen to a moderate volume for your EDM or your lo-fi, and then you can crank it up, and that's where it opens up the treble, opens up the vocals, really brings the richness out. Cantor is exactly like that on another level.
Cantor's great, and I think it punches up above 1,000.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a dream comparison would be the Theaudio LTD, Prestige LTD
Yeah.
versus the Cantor, because I think it can run with it.
Yeah.
Anything that's balanced. In fact, you know what would be a really good one? Crimson's getting kind of old.
Mm.
Crimson and the Cantor, because I think the Cantor, what I like about it is that it's balanced, but it's not dry.
Yeah.
The treble's not harsh.
Not harsh at
It's
all.
beautiful treble. I'm kind of a bass guy, but it has enough bass to satisfy me.
Yeah.
And it's BA bass, but it's good bass.
Yeah. That's the one thing that I always kind of have a little bit of fear of when it's like an all BA set is like,
Mhm.
am I going to hear like satisfying bass enough, or is it just going to be like super thin? Like, sure, it's detailed, but like I'm not getting the heft, I'm not getting the punch, the slam, I'm not getting like the feeling of my music.
Right.
With that.
And that thing sounded.
Yeah, it's great.
In fact, it kind of reminded me of the body. The other thing I like about the Noir is the body. Safe travels, brother.
Thank you.
Will you be in Dallas?
Me personally not, but my colleagues will be.
Okay. All right. Good to see you again.
Another drive-by.
Awesome guys. But yeah, the Cantor is a real deal.
Yeah, I agree.
If you like that balance, technical, it's got great. It just shows. It shows a lot that awful because I like the what was it, the P5. I thought it was very good.
Form rate.
And you like the 8.
Yeah.
And I think they just do really. It's
Magic 1 is also a very unique 1 BA.
yeah,
like,
with
super
the bass.
clean set.
Yeah, and it has good bass, right?
A very good bass for a BA.
Yeah.
Not, that's like a classic BA bass, but still very clean and does everything really well to the point where for 100, like I think 150 or under 150, like that's a unique set. Explorer is another one that's super unique.
Yeah.
It's special.
Man, awful with the bangers.
Right?
All right, so which is the next one?
Jomo Nautilus.
Jomo Nautilus.
See you guys.
Have a
See
good
ya.
one. Or
Dude.
see you in Dallas.
See you in Dallas?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah,
Oh, awesome.
for sure.
Video right now, actually.
All right.
Oh,
Thanks for coming out.
awesome.
Yeah,
Great
absolutely.
video, by the way.
What's that?
The
The
great
3-hour.
the 3-hour video.
Oh,
It's so good.
The way y'all communicate doesn't even last like a 3 hours.
Oh,
I just sat there and watched it. Yeah.
seriously, thanks for enduring.
No worries,
It
brother.
was worth it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Mr. Jude, the man. What was it? Oh yeah. So the
Jomo.
Jomo, the Nautilus. What? Why? How?
I don't even know. It's the perfect engaging V shape at $800 that hits above its price point, which a lot of IEMs do that. But this is like one of those sleepers that I feel like I don't know if enough people appreciated how good it is.
It just came out.
Yeah.
Came out. So this might be like the banger of the end of the year, early next year if it catches on. But it's got this, beautiful copper shell.
Yes.
So the shell's beautiful.
It's like jewelry.
Yeah, and this has got these colorful little flakes inside the shell. And it's just a stunning design. It's not heavy. It's
No.
not like what was that? The Rapsodio?
Rapsodio. Even the AME Muso was like I was gonna get gains in my ears
Gee,
wearing it.
that was a heavy one too. Yeah, it's not like that. It's a small shell, but it's got some wicked cool technology. Like it has a planar, bone conducting,
Yes.
and a dynamic driver, right? And the dynamic or the bone conducting is only for the mids as well.
Yes. Gives that immersion in
The immersion and the texture and it kind of like a soul to the voices,
Yeah.
the weight that it does. So like when Billie Eilish is doing something and being emotive, you feel that emotion. So it's nice. So I just think it punches way above, and it's
Yeah,
outstanding.
I think once it gets into more people's hands to
Mhm.
review or do videos
Yeah.
or even write about, like, I think that's gonna be a really good entry.
That's a great one because I'm sitting there thinking like, it's going to be interesting for Theaudio because I think Theaudio and the Monarch have held that $1,000 price point for
Yeah.
a couple of years now. Like when everybody thinks a lot of people that's their end game. Yeah. But I've noticed. Have you noticed this too? So we've got the Noir,
Yep.
$799, the Cantor,
Yep.
$799. You noticing
Jomo.
something? The Jomo, $800.
$800.
And I feel like, depending on the tuning you like, because the Monarch is a great tuning,
Yeah.
but it's not for everybody. I'm thinking, and then the Origin is what, 850?
850, I believe. Yeah.
There's something
That's a
happening
special
there.
one, too.
Yeah, there's something happening there where that $1,000 point is now 800. That 800 point is now maybe 3 to 4.
Yeah.
So,
Floors right around that range. You have the Estrella, the Da Vinci,
how can you leave out your boy? The Fan 3.
Fan 3. Yeah.
Man, that's
Go
another
back to the
shock.
Phenom.
Yeah. So it's like everything's coming down, and I'm excited to see. I bet you before the end of next year, there's going to be a Monarch 4.
Probably.
And I feel like maybe bone conducting
Yeah.
added to it because if I had any knowledge, and everybody knows I love the Monarch MK3, but it's an intimate listen. It doesn't have this huge wide soundstage.
Yeah.
And it's more of an intimate, and it'd be really cool to see if they do take the Monarch 4. Well, they're going to have to they're gonna have to do something because there's so much competition.
Yeah, which is great for every
Us.
consumer. Yeah.
Something that we didn't bring up though.
Good show.
Yes,
Absolutely.
amazing show.
I'm glad.
Amazing show. Will you be in Dallas?
Yes.
Okay.
As an attendee.
Sweet. Sweet. So you get to
That's
chill.
awesome.
Yeah. For once.
Oh, good for you, brother. Well, let's hang out. Let's for sure hang out.
I saw you at last Dallas, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, because I was asking about the Empyrean. But I luckily got the twos.
Yeah, nice.
Sure.
Take care. All right.
See ya.
Yeah.
Another example of people walking by.
Yep, and it's awesome. Like you just, again, the best thing about CanJam is make new friends, make new connections, and like a lot of people just treat this as their time to come, hang out with friends, listen to music, vibe together. It's a great spot.
Only twice.
So what do you got?
Are you going here?
I know you're gonna mention something.
Should we get into it?
Sure.
Bad Freak.
You want to do that or Storm?
Oh, nope, Storm. By all means, Storm. Subatomic Storm.
So was this the first time you heard Storm?
This is the first time I heard Storm.
Tell me all about the Storm.
What just happened to me? It's gonna ruin almost everything else to me, besides, maybe Bad Freak. That's going to late, next. But Subtonic Storm might be one of the best IEMs I've ever heard in my life.
I wait to. So when I was in New York, that was the first time I heard Storm.
Yeah.
And I think I heard. Well, you know what I did, and I realized this. I was looking at my notes because I can tell when I was listening to things, and I think it was the end of the first day, and I listened to the Novus for the first. No, I listened to the Storm for the first time, and then I listened to the Novus, which isn't a good thing.
No, ruined it.
It ruins anything. Like if you do Storm and then listen to anything afterwards,
It sounds like it's muddy.
it doesn't work. So what I did today, what you saw, was I waited till 10 minutes before the show ended.
Yep, and you were already at this point pretty clear, fresh mind, fresh everything, as
Storm,
much as possible.
Storm. I feel like you and I both listened to all the top dogs. There wasn't a top dog that we missed this whole weekend.
Yeah,
Storm's still better than anything.
yeah, I have to agree.
Storm is just. And today, actually, it was about 20 minutes because I was. Well, no, they let us stay afterwards.
They did. Thank you.
I threw everything at Storm. I have an eclectic music taste. Like I listen to everything, and the Storm does not disappoint.
Yeah, it's just the perfect balance of over-the-top details and over-the-top lushness. It's just everything's like brought up to another level that I never heard before.
Yeah, and I told them the only thing, because Eyal was so gracious to let me borrow his trailer last night, the Bird, and I told them at Fat Freak, I was like, if I was going to decide, there'd only two IMs I would decide, or one IM that I would decide against the Storm. And I think the Bird still does such amazing voices.
Yes.
And I also think the Bird is amazing for just all around. Like you can listen to anything with the Bird and it's just great.
Yes.
But the same thing with the Storm.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if you had the money, those two would complement each other in a sense because they're great IMs. And it's shout out to Orioles for making a product. I think it's 3 years old?
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
And still, like, it's not hard to borrow a Bird from a water cooler or people that are, random people that I met had the Bird. Like, so it's still.
And they're still keeping it.
They're still keeping it, yeah. So the Storm, though, the Storm is still the best thing.
It's
I would
special.
say, yeah. That I heard at CanJam. But we got some secrets.
All right, let's get into them. Fat Freak. All right, so first I want to mention the Deuce because that's it's been a little bit of drama around that because they've delayed it a little bit, and they've come back and say, hey, we're working on something, and some people were upset about the marketing, saying the base shelf was going to be like 25 dB, but graphs are showing it lower, and they're like, well, here's a base impedance adapter.
Mm-hmm.
They're making it in their store. Very specifically in their store. Speaking of Fat Freak.
Yep.
Speaking of them right
Hi,
now.
guys. Safe travels.
Hey!
So
about you
we're
guys right
talking
now?
about you right now in our video. Like y'all
Yeah.
literally rounded the corner.
Right when I was talking about it. So
Yeah.
the bass impedance adapter is being built in-house.
You want us to be?
Come
Yeah,
on.
come on in. Come on
Yeah,
in.
this is awesome.
Hello.
So this is the Fat Freak team.
Yo, come in.
Hello. What's up,
Yeah, there we are. So hi.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the amazing team. Don't worry, your deuces will be there shortly.
They've been taking care of everybody.
They're gonna take care of everybody. Every time we come to the show, they're the most welcoming,
Thank you.
helpful, awesome group. And that's the way they are as a company. They don't want to short shift y'all. They want to make sure quality is number one.
Yeah.
They want you to be happy. So just chill, everybody. Your product's going to be sent, and it's
Soon.
going to sound good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. We'll be packing up and head it back to.
Yeah.
All right. Well, safe travel.
Very nice to meet you. We'll give you a hug. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting
you.
you. Oh. Now you get to rest.
Now you get to rest.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we have appointments already.
Booked.
Arrange all the plans.
Yep. The day after, then we fly back the day after as well.
You gotta hustle.
This is what happens
That
when
we like.
you are successful.
A good problem.
It's a
Good
personal problem. All right.
Yes, it is.
All right. Thank you.
Catch you guys
Awesome.
Congrats to Deborah, was it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome, y'all.
Sorry to
Safe
interrupt.
travels. No worries. No worries.
Alright. See you guys.
So yes, as we were talking about, they have a small team. They sold an amazing amount of product, and you just don't ramp up, because if you ramp up in a crazy way, quality is going to go to crap, and everybody
Come in.
knows. Would you like to come in, Warren? You sure?
Yeah, do your thing.
So when you want to, they built their name in a way where they're quality, they sound great, they're innovative, and then boom, they blew up. So they want to keep what they hold dear, and they will get your product to you, and it's going to be great. You
Yeah.
heard it. How'd you like it?
I loved it. It's at $250. That price point. It's. I don't want to use the term market disruptor, but I mean it could be because of how good the bass is. It's elevated. It's tastefully done. It's detailed. The mids are still very clean. Maybe a little bit thin here and there, but you can't have perfection at $250. It's good enough that you're not going to miss it too much. You might notice it if you're really nitpicky, but that's going to be more of like the I want to be upset that I'm listening to this and
Mm-hmm.
be upset at this IEM.
Yeah.
And the treble is completely just clean. It's just it's a home run.
Their products are just ridiculous. Like I listened to the Grand Maestro
Yeah.
for the first time, and my God, the bass is such a quality bass, and you would think Fat Freak bass, right?
Yeah.
But then you've got these mids, and you have a switch where you can bring them forward, or you can have them within the mix. And within the mix, they sound extraordinary. But when you bring them forward, they're almost like traily type, just seductive, just emotive,
Lush.
great sounding, lush. Yeah. And then on top of that, a lot of people don't even talk about is that their treble's phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree.
The treble on them, it's never similar, but it's also very extended. It's there. It's airy. It's just a great idea.
Yeah.
And then
And-
you've got the nodules.
Yeah, and what I think about the best part about their bass is
Mhm.
like it's very sub bass.
Mm-hmm.
It goes into mid bass a little bit, but I feel like that method of doing the bass
Mhm.
is just extraordinary. That's
Yeah.
their calling card. That's what they know. That's what they're good at, and I think it's great.
And if you want more, you slip in a nodule.
Yeah,
If you want less, you slip in another. Was it module?
module, the new module,
And
system.
then they've got the super stage, the new one.
Yeah, which is phenomenal.
And they,
And I
not
think
to cut you off, but they also have, not on top of that, they have the what is it, special edition,
Yes, the anniversary,
anniversary edition. Yeah.
which is a different shell actually. It's
Mm-hmm.
a metal shell, and then they have that new Bass Cannon 2.0 technology, which is
Mhm.
proprietary, and they'll probably never tell us what that is.
But it's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I got us. Want to talk about the little secret thing?
So I'm like just chilling, trying to, write some notes on an IM that I'm listening to. And he basically texted me, "Get your black ass over here," which I felt kind of, it was racist, but it wasn't. He was just excited. So I run my black ass over there. And there's this little, I'm not going to lie. I was a little pissed off because here's this little cup and here's this little IM. And it's a prototype, of course, so
Yes.
it's not going to be beautiful. But I'm like, what's this rickety looking little thing doing in here? Like, why'd you call me over for
And I
this?
specifically said, listen to the bassiest thing you have, and then tell me what you think. And I didn't want to tell you a single thing about it.
So I get the DX 320 Max DI out. I put on Billie Eilish. I think I put on Bury a Friend first. And my God. So the Triton bass, what I like about it is that you've got this thunderous bass, but everything else is present.
Yep.
And it's nice. Same thing with this little guy, except I felt like there was actually a little bit more clarity.
Yeah.
And then this knucklehead tells me this.
One planar.
One planar. But it has modules.
Yep, the same modules that they're famous for. So we swapped it over to, I think, the Super Stage for you.
And I had a bigger sound stage and more bass. And it's
It's crazy.
I honestly feel like take the storm, well, for just innovative product or product to come, holy crap, that's the one to wait for.
100%. Yeah, we don't know a final price, don't know anything. We were thankful that Fat Freak was able to let us listen to it, and we did get approval to talk a little bit about it. We can't go too much more into detail, but besides just saying that it is a one planar, it is coming soon. The shell, the design, everything is still to be TBD. It's just a phenomenal set.
It was unreal. Like, it's just, we didn't bring this up for the Apex.
Yeah.
That they put all those drivers and that technology in it such a small shell.
Yes.
Same thing about this prototype.
Yeah, it was the lightest thing ever.
Yeah, so like, you get used to, it seems like IMs are getting bigger and bigger. Except the Triton. The Triton's nice because it's a smaller one. They worked hard for that. But it's like, when I saw this thing, you never judge a book by its cover because it was brilliant. It was like
brilliant.
just amazing. So yeah, Fat Freak.
Yeah, it was the closest I've ever heard, and I listened to the Lesher S12 2024, the SO8. They're very good planar sets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to discount them at all. But this was the closest to a DD I've ever heard a planar ever get.
And then you
And
got
it's one.
freaking modules that you can change the bass and make it even bassier, and it's
Yeah.
like turns into a bass head, and it's tiny. So I don't know. I think Fat Freak's about to go on a tear.
Yeah.
Well, they are on a tear.
If what we discussed is true, then that is something to keep an eye on. Hold on to your wallets, and yeah, TBD, more to come.
Brother, it was a blast doing this video.
Yeah.
There's going to be more videos with Wayne and I. We're going to be sharing equipment and then doing live streams and
Yeah, when we can.
when we can, streams, stuff like that. Hopefully he'll be able to make it to Dallas.
Trying.
We're going to try to make it to CanJam Dallas together. But that wraps up our CanJam 2024
Yeah.
Socal edition.
Yeah. If we missed anything, it's just because there were so many good stuff, and it is not a knock against your product at all.
And the first name at the bottom is going to be his. Go follow and like his YouTube channel. Turn those notification bells on, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.